Hi, I'm John Purdy, Executive Director with Mount Baker Theater.
Hello, everyone. I'm Randi Freitas with the Hip Hop Nutcracker.
So, Randy Freitas, you're with us today. We're so excited to be having you coming to town. Could you please tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Sure. My name is Randi Freitas. I'm currently living in Los Angeles, California, originally from the Bay Area. And I got into dance about 15 years ago, starting with breakdancing. So that was my first style, just in a rec center with a bunch of other friends trying to figure out what we were doing and flipping ourselves around. And from there, it grew to a point where I moved to LA just to experience more dance and was able to start working, start learning choreography, start expanding my dance vocabulary. And here we are today, touring with a bunch of other breakdancers. So it's living the dream.
I hear that. That sounds wonderful. So, what's your role in the show and how did you get involved with the Hip Hop Nutcracker?
My role is associate choreographer as well as mouse king and dance captain. So I juggle a few hats. But I originally got involved because the head choreographer, Jennifer Weber, brought a different project to the Music Center in LA. And a few of us booked that job. We worked well together. She enjoyed working with the freestylers out in Los Angeles. And so she ended up bringing the Nutcracker, which was originally based out of New York. She brought the Hip Hop Nutcracker to LA to cast. And so we all auditioned for that. And after the audition, she asked me to meet up for coffee, and I was pleasantly surprised that she asked if I was also interested in assisting her. And so I started out as assistant choreographer and then worked up to associate over the last 7 years that I've been with the show.
Wow, that sounds so interesting. So, how would you describe the Hip Hop Nutcracker to our audience?
The Hip Hop Nutcracker is a beautiful blend of worlds. We stick with the classical music, so it's the original score, but you have entirely street dance, breakers, poppers, lockers, house dancers, freestylers on stage. So it's the adaptation of typical movement that's done with hip hop music to then be adapted into a classical score. And so you get a lot of exciting moments, a lot of high energy, a lot of highly dynamic movement, and something different than we're used to seeing with the Nutcracker.
Yeah, absolutely right. So you talk about a number of things in there, but what are some of the ways that this show is different from a regular Nutcracker show?
The storyline of this one actually is set in modern day in New York. So it brings the audience to, I think, a more relatable story. It's about Maria Clara, who's struggling to watch her parents and their marriage falling apart a bit. And I think a lot of people can relate to family struggles, things that they're going through at the home. And we watch Nutcracker come in just as a street vendor, actually, and come in and save the day and help remind her parents that at the core of everything is love. Remind them why they fell in love with each other years ago and bring that love back into the family. And so it's cool to watch a more modern day take. All the outfits are up to date, and I think the kids like to watch something that's a little more relatable to their modern times. And then, of course, the movement. We're not on point. We're actually upside down on our head spinning rather than on point on our feet spinning. So you get the same spins, but just inverted with a little bit of a flip.
That sounds so interesting, and we're very excited for that to be coming to town. I know when we first got the show booked, I was so happy that you were coming to town. So, what can you tell us about the dancers and the cast that you're working with?
The cast has truly become family. Most of the cast is at least 3 years running with the show, and some up to the full 10 years of the show. We just are hitting our 10-year anniversary with the show. So Maria Clara, who's played by Sylvia, she's been with the show since the beginning. And so there's not only a love for the show, but a love for each other in the cast. And I feel like that's really visible on stage. You can see that we're enjoying each other. You can see that we're having fun. We're bringing a lot of joy to the stage. And they're all incredible individual artists that have come together to create this. We have people that travel the world battling. We have people that work with artists and music videos in Los Angeles. And we have people that live all over from Miami to New York to Texas to California. So we really have gone out and sought out the best of the best to bring together for the show.
So what is your favorite moment from the show?
I have a couple. I think my number one favorite moment is doing the breaks with Curtis Blow. Curtis Blow is such a legend, one of the grandfathers of hip hop and one of the creators. And so to be able to share the stage with him in that final bow. So we did a different twist on taking a final bow, and we do it by freestyling, and he introduces each of us. And that's certainly one of my favorite parts.
Hmm.
And then I would say my other favorite part is we do tie in the classical mouse and soldier battle, even though we've brought a different storyline. And so it's cool to see the way in which we tie in something original from the show, and then the characters that we get to play for that. So instead of your everyday person on the streets of New York, we get to step into these mice and these toy soldiers, and everyone does a really good job of like really getting into character at that part. So it's a lot of fun.
How has the hip hop Nutcracker impacted your world?
I mean, I feel like the Hip Hop Nutcracker is now a part of my life. I've been doing it for the past 7 years. I spend Christmas on the road with this cast. And I think it really has empowered me to see dance forms that you don't traditionally see on a stage, to see them welcomed into the theater, to see them looked at as legitimate dance styles that deserve this placement as well, has been super inspiring. Just as a dancer that started in a rec center with some friends, you know, and you look and you think that, you know, only ballet or these other things have a place on stage. And so to watch all these people that have dedicated their lives to different forms of street dance come together on a classical stage and be able to truly be themselves is super impactful in my life.
I have to tell you, the best part of my job is getting to meet artists like yourself. And so it's been such a joy to meet you, Randy Freitas. And I was excited about the show before, but I'm super more excited about it now. We only bring a few dance shows to town. We have a local dance schools that perform here as well. But we're just so happy that you're coming in, and it's just been wonderful to meet you. Thanks so much for taking some time to be with us today.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm very excited to come to your town.